And I'm back. I'm Brian Batista. My friends call me Bunny. It's a long story, and it's something I can't undo or erase. It's stuck, and I gotta live with it now. I'm in my studio, Atelier Artista. This is episode 70, Erasers. Okay, so here's the deal. I went to a bunch of art stores and I picked up every type of eraser, everything they had on the market, so that I could test it. And maybe you're like me and you have this ingrained guilty feeling that you must not be a good artist if you need an eraser to fix your mistakes. It's kind of like a secret in that you're cheating. Contrary to what you might believe or what others may have told you, using an eraser does not mean you suck. Now I see these little guys as a valuable tool. You don't have to be this idea of perfection of an artist and not make mistakes. It's all part of the process. And we have two hands. So if one's holding your pencil, the other can hold the eraser, if not, your drink. Let's go back in time. Back in the day, wax or sandstone or pumice, I know, this is a brick, and even bread was used for erasing all manner of mistakes. Around 1770, the rubber, yes, they're sometimes called rubbers, not these kind, but these kind will also save you from making some mistakes. Around 1770, the rubber was developed, and its name was derived after the discovery of rubber trees in the New World. It was noted that it was good at removing lead from paper. Raw rubber is perishable until Mr. Goodyear discovered the process of vulcanization. Patented on the end of the pencil, they come in freestanding blocks, wedges, barrels, or even mechanical, but I don't use them. They're made out of all sorts of materials. Synthetic rubbers, vulcanized corn oils, soy-based gums, vinyl, plastic, and so many more. So what does an eraser do? Well, basically it picks up material. It can either do it by rolling it like a kid in grass, sloughing off the material as it passes, or it can add it to itself like a blob eating. Essentially able to brush away the residue as the material gets stuck onto it, removing it from the paper and usually putting it on your floor. So they're made out of a bunch of different materials, so I broke them down into a few groups. We're gonna go from the softest and less invasive to the most aggressive.
Soft to hard seems like the most natural way to go.
I lay down some paper I have lying around to use a bunch of things as my baseline. At the top, which is Sharpie, black ink, which won't erase, pencil crayon, which resists due to it being waxy, some color erase markers, Cretacolor carbon, Pierre Noir 1710B Wolf's carbon, graphite, powdered charcoal, compressed charcoal, General's charcoal, vine charcoal, just to name a few. Now we might as well get started with bread. And just make sure it's not fancy bread like I did here. No cranberries or raisins in it. And unless it's fairly dry, forget about it. But I'm sure bread dough or pizza dough would work great too. If you've ever made pizza, you know it sure cleans your fingernails when making it. And afterwards, you're gonna have to brush the mess away. But if you're in a bind and haven't run out of food yet, bread will definitely do. Soft and sticky, like sticky tack. And because they have so much tack and are sticky, they are often used to adhere posters to the walls without damaging paint. But they're also a great removing material for drawings without damaging or smudging the work. I've even seen them take off oil paint. Kneadable erasers or putty rubber also fall into this category and are already a standard in most artist kits. They're soft and pliable and light in color when clean, and they get dark as they continually lift material off the page and into them. Pieces can be torn and shaped as needed, and I find that they warm up a little too much in your hand, so if you keep them on a cold Coca-Cola, they'll stay more firm. My favorite way is to roll it like dough over the entire work to lighten things equally. And kneadable erasers are said to be dead when they're so saturated they can no longer absorb any more material. Classic or gum erasers are more firm, and they include the standard pink ones that you had in your school days, made of natural rubber, and also latex varieties like art gum or artist gum that are often square and tan. They're made of natural latex, and that material easily crumbles away. They all make a big mess, but they're definitely the reliable and trustworthy workhorse of erasers, and chances are you have plenty laying around. Flexible varieties include vinyl and soft compounds, and plastics tend to be white. They are much softer and non-abrasive, and therefore gentler on the paper. And because they're made of soft compounds and sometimes plastics, that means they're incredibly flexible, which means they have a lot of give and they keep their shape longer, but may smudge some materials due to your ability to use them with more aggression than the previous other types. Firmer and harder erasers are basically bullies, and they beat your surface and bruise it and scrape the material right off. Now, these erasers last longer because they're barely losing any of their volume in the process, but they are bordering on being abrasive. Abrasive varieties are rough, like pumice or sandpaper, and they aren't so much losing their own material, they're actually removing and scraping away the uppermost surface of your drawing paper. Novelty erasers are mainly made for kids and big kids like myself. They come in all shapes and sizes, colors, and even fragrances. But be careful, they're often cheap. They're made for looks rather than for use. They will smudge your work and leave behind colors. That being said, they're still really fun to collect. There are also all manner of specialized varieties. Ones that dispense an eraser like a mechanical pencil, erasers in actual pencil form that you can sharpen, and ones like monobrand that come in different shapes and sizes and are fantastic for getting into the hardest to reach areas. There you have it, all the ways to fix your mistakes, from the softest, kneadable, and natural in gum, to novelty in those pink ones from school. Flexible, hard, rough, and pumicey, and the specialty. But there are other ways to fix your mistakes too. For example, masks and resists and tape and masking liquid can be used in the beginning of your project to protect areas, and then once you remove it, you have a clean and protected layer underneath. It's used a lot in watercolor and airbrush applications. If you've gone too far down the path of no return, you can cover up your mistakes with liquids and whiteout, gouache paint. These things are a last resort. They will cause noticeable texture and color differences. So here, my friends, we come to an end, and now you should choose what's best for you to use. And let's also pay gratitude for its erasers that sacrifice their lives due to our mistakes. Do me a favor while you're here. Help me grow this channel. Poke that like button, subscribe, comment below, and if there was something you liked, maybe share it with a creative friend that you know. I hope this shines some light about erasers and how nerdy one can be, and that if you want to hear more, you turn on that bell for notifications. Keep your pencils sharp and join me again. I'm Brian Bunny Batista. Ciao for now. So here, my friends, we come to an end, and now you know what's best for you to choose to use.